Hi guys, what's up? This is Kelly, and I hope you've been enjoying watching some of my videos with the doodling and drawing and inserting funny graphics and making the videos fun and entertaining to watch. But I'm gonna take my channel in a slightly different direction for a little while. A couple of months ago, I was diagnosed with another brain aneurysm. So what I'd like to do on top of continuing to film any drawing and doodling that I do is document this whole process, because now I need to have a second craniotomy. And craniotomy, FYI, is short for drilling holes and removing part of your skull to mess around with your brains and fix what's under the hood. I'm hoping to use this, this video platform so it'll help me out with my thoughts and emotions and while I'm processing this whole thing. And then I can describe what's happening to everyone and anyone that's interested, kind of what's going on and how this works. It's now June of 2019, and as many of my friends and family know, I had brain surgery in May of 2016 to clip a 13mm middle cerebral artery aneurysm. And that surgery went pretty well, and I recovered pretty well, but brain surgery is basically a brain injury. You'll never be exactly the same as you were before. And some of these changes are small and only you really notice them, but some are bigger and they impact your life in ways that now make some, pre-surgery normal things suck. Mine is mostly fatigue. I have to rest a lot, take a lot of naps, and I'll talk about all that stuff another time. What I'm interested in more right now is this new shit burger that's come into my life. My brain aneurysm grew back. I mean, who the hell gets 2 brain aneurysms? So to start off, I'm just going to throw out some nerdy sciencey facts about brain aneurysms. It's like a balloon like sac located on an artery or vessel. Like an old garden hose has an area that's worn away and it's filling up with water, and the next time you turn on the hose, the spot bursts and you lose all your water pressure and your plants don't get water and all your tomatoes die. They're categorized as giant, small, and large. Giant is weird. And mine is the same size as before, about 12 millimeters, which falls right between the large and giant size categories. Those people who have a brain aneurysm that ruptures only have a 50% chance of survival. Now that's of the people who have brain aneurysms, and that's about 1 in, I think it's 100 people have a brain aneurysm, and some of them are so small they'll never know that they have it and it will never rupture. Of those that do survive a ruptured brain aneurysm, about 60% of those people will have long-term neurological problems or permanent problems, and those can be any number of things. The treatments for an unruptured brain aneurysm are endovascular coiling and intracranial clipping. The coiling is where they go up through, I think it's the femoral artery. They coil the aneurysm so it doesn't burst. The clipping is what I had, and they go in and put some titanium clips on the aneurysm so it doesn't burst. And both of these are intended to fix the problem, but it is the brain and there's always a lot of unknowns. The stats for having a brain aneurysm come back is like 0.5%, and that's usually within like 10 years. So the fact that mine came back in less than 3 years, my surgeon is pretty concerned. He says it's misbehaving, so he wants to go back in. Here's a few images of my brain. This is from my very first MRI, and it shows where the aneurysm is, plus the really cool picture of my eyeball sockets. This is currently what my skull looks like with the clips and all the titanium plates. and the 14 tiny screws that are holding the part of my skull in place that was taken out. This aneurysm is different in a lot of ways. It's in a really weird spot, it's oddly shaped, and it can't simply be clipped again. It has 3 vessels attached to it. And here's a picture of my new aneurysm from my angiogram that I had last month. It has 3 vessels attached to it, 1 going in and 2 going out. The surgery is going to involve taking one of these outgoing vessels and attach it to the other outgoing vessel. Technically, it's a bypass / resection of the vessel so that the aneurysm can be clipped and hopefully we'll be done with all this skull cracking. So here's what I'm up against in terms of risks. A stroke during surgery, because they have to stop the blood flow while they sew the vessels together, and that is usually about 30 to 40 minutes. Also, the attachment of the vessels may not take very well, so what I'm risking is the blood flow that feeds the speech and language region of my brain and also areas that control the right side of my body, because the aneurysm is in the left temporal lobe of my brain. Here's what I'm worried about. Obviously, no one wants to lose any part of their mobility, their independence, their motor skills, all of those things. So I'm really worried about waking up and discovering that I've lost certain abilities. And there's a wide range of spectrum of possibilities when it comes to that, because they might be slight and I can regain things over time, or they might be permanent. And here's what I'm actually terrified about. I'm not scared of dying, which feels weird to say, but the truth is I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of living without some of the things that make me who I am. I'm terrified of having to take years to recover while living without independence. And I'll go into more of those kind of on a intellectual, emotional level in another video. But here's another thing that sucks. People who have a brain aneurysm that ruptures and they survive, or people who have a traumatic brain injury, they don't get to spend months thinking about all these outcomes and unknowns. And I'm sure we've all thought about tragedies that could come to us in hypothetical ways, but when you're faced with the realities, it can be ultra consuming and ultra overwhelming and stressful. So that's what I've got going on too. And as an added bonus, my other worry is affording the minimum of 3 months of recovery time that I'm looking forward to, since I can't work and I can't drive. And being self-employed is great, but I don't have the luxury of benefits from a job that gives me sick pay or paid time off, etc. So all these things are big parts of why I'm going to film this whole process while I process this. I'm going to document everything, right down to the surgery itself, hopefully. I'm still trying to get that cleared because I really want the surgery itself to be filmed. I mean, who gets to see the inside of their brain in their lifetime, ever? And then through, my recovery and waking up from my surgery and how I wake up and everything that's involved. I'm really devoted to helping people understand what this is and people who live with this. I know a lot of people who through a Facebook group that I'm on, a lot of people who live with certain things or are caretakers of people who've had aneurysms. So ask questions if you want, comment, share it, whatever. And because this, I'm really going to be struggling to make this long recovery work financially so that I have less to worry about and I can focus on regaining my strength. My brother started a GoFundMe page for me, and I'll post the link in the videos if anyone's feeling charitable and helping me save my marbles. So stay tuned. I'm going to be talking about a lot of other stuff like, my passions and goals and everything that I want to do provided everything goes well. You know, I'm going to talk about some things that have been pissing me off about the healthcare system. Talk about others who've gone through this. Maybe you know some and you can tell me about your experiences with this, and you know how you can take some preventative measures to detect aneurysms, because almost all of them that are unruptured are found by looking for something else, which is exactly how they found my first one. So this is a lot of personal journey through this, I guess, unexpected thing the universe has thrown at me, and me trying to figure it out, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to learn from this, and and sharing it, which I didn't get a chance to do the first time, so that's why I'm here. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the drawings and the dogs and the birds and all those things that make me happy, and stay tuned. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. And thanks for your thoughts. Thanks for your comments. Thanks to everyone who's been supporting me. It really means a lot to me.